That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hi, my name is Michael Ronaldo, and I'm a freshman finance major here at the University of Maryland. I'm from Montville, New Jersey, where I attended the public school there, and I was the vice president of my entrepreneurship club. I also volunteered at various different organizations like soup kitchens, hospitals, Habitat for Humanity. I worked for 4 years at an organization called Pathways, which helped mentally challenged kids, and I really think that changed who I am and made me the person I am today. I'm the type of college student that loves the college work solely because we find out about it like a month in advance, and then I can just sit down for a week, get it all done, and then have nothing to do for the rest of the month, which is pretty great. I also think I'm relatively creative, which I hope my PCR can help convey. What I did with the PCR was I made it partially written and also partially a video. The videos are used because I think when you're reading something, you can lose a lot of the personality and the tone that the writer is trying to convey. Because some things can be misconstrued or not read correctly or read the way the reader wants it. So by me speaking it and saying things about like what I learned and stuff like that, I think you can truly understand what I've learned and how I feel, because I can use my body language, I can use my voice to just better describe what I've learned and portray exactly what I want you to get out of my PCR. But there are some things that are strictly written. Those are sections 8 through 12, because I think anything I say in those sections can be accurately depicted using my words. There are also some things that are just videos, like the introduction, because I think anything I need to say in my introduction should be spoken, because it's all about how I feel and it's all about my feelings. There are sections that are also half written and half videos. These sections are this way because the written portion describes basic summaries and basic definitions that I just think I should just write to you. I shouldn't have to speak. That just give you a general background. And then the videos will be based on those definitions, based on those summaries about what I learned. I think I needed to do this because what I learned is more about me and what I've gotten out of it. I think by me speaking it to you, it speaks more to what I learned and what I got out of it. And I think you can better see what I got out of what I've done with this class and this college so far. I also got back my U assessment results recently, and now I'm really glad I decided to do a video because I did not do too well with that. And this, I think, will help me speak better in front of people or just a camera in general. It'll just get me a better speaker and more used to just talking. So I'm really happy now I'm doing this, and I really hope you enjoy my truly personalized PCR. On September 7th, we got to visit Hershey Park, and while I was there, I saw the importance of association and how relating to seemingly different things can have a huge impact on what you're doing, which is what Milton did with the assembly line and chocolate. I also saw that giving back is a really essential part of someone's life, because it can help a lot of other people and can also help you in return. So whenever I do something or I have a chance to help someone else, I will never miss that opportunity. While I was there on tour, I got to use a simulation of making an assembly line, which taught me a lot about how you have to really know where you're starting from and where you're ending and be able to have a clear path in between, which is something I can use whenever I'm writing essays or doing daily tasks. During class on September 8th, we learned a lot about what drives innovation and the impact that innovation can have on society and how beneficial it can be to overall life. So after knowing that, innovation is something that I'm never going to take for granted or overlook as being important. It's something that I'm going to try and pursue and try and grow in my own person. Ways of doing that I learned is just by following what you love and by playing and pursuing your passions. So knowing that, it makes innovation look a lot less of a daunting task and something more that I will want to do. By doing that, there's certain ways to generate ideas, and I learned that you can do it by just observing and networking, experimenting, questioning, and then that'll generate associational skills that you can use to generate ideas. So every day I will start questioning things that I see, seeing there's different ways to do it, observing how people react to certain things of life, or observing how things work. And by doing that, I will be able to think of new ways to do something, or just think of a new innovative idea. On September 15th in class, we learned a lot about reverse innovation and disruptive innovation, which talks about innovation on a lower scale and something that's a little bit less high tech. So innovation doesn't necessarily have to be something that's completely new and high tech and more expensive and elaborate than everything else. It can be something a little bit simpler that targets a less privileged market. And through this, you can help underprivileged people or people that can't really afford the new things. And by doing this, you can still make a lot of money. So when it comes to starting a business or coming up with an idea, you don't necessarily have to think so much in a broader terms of being more advanced. You can just kind of take something and make it more simple for someone else, which is something I can think about when coming up with new ideas. By visiting Cirque du Soleil and having a guest speaker come talk to us about it, I learned a lot about the Four Actions framework and about blue ocean strategy and how it's very important to think outside the box and see how you can make something more different from the competition instead of directly competing with the competition, which is something I can do with certain projects, like how with the PCR I decided to do something completely different using the video. In class today, we learned about the psychology of innovation and what it takes to be innovative using the discovery skills and also having a desire to change status quo and just be willing to take risks, which is something I never really thought about. And I normally don't try and take too many risks, but knowing that taking smart risks is a great way to learn and grow is something I'm going to keep in mind and something I will try to do in my everyday life. Today in class, we learned a lot about what makes companies innovative, and what I thought was very interesting was that innovation is everyone's job. So when I start working and get a job, I know that I have to be innovative in anything I do, and I have to always look out for new innovative opportunities and not just expect the higher ups or people in R&D to do it. During the challenge course, we got to do a lot of group activities, and one of them that I really liked was when we had to get a marble across a field using a bunch of little tubes. And when we finally accomplished it wasn't just one person who decided what we did. Everyone had to collaborate. Everyone gave different pieces of advice about how to do it, and then we came up with one solution. So that was really cool and kind of taught me how collaboration and talking with others can help you learn a lot and help you get to your end, which is something about it shows a lot about innovation and how it's not just one person. You need people to help you. You need outside influences and just many different pieces of information and incorporate it into one to get one great solution. On October 6th, we talked a lot about the incumbent's curse and how leading innovators get to the top of their industry and then just stop innovating because they get so used to what they're doing, which can bring about their demise and really hurt them in their industry. So in regards to me, this is something that I'm going to take into consideration when it comes to how I study or how I write my essays. I'm always going to be open for critique and let other people tell me of more efficient ways of doing things and just keep my mind open to new opportunities. The midterm was one of the hardest tests I've ever taken, but I really liked it because once I was done with it, I felt that I actually knew the information because I wasn't just regurgitating what I learned. I was able to apply all the concepts and get a good grasp of the material. After learning about design thinking, I learned that empathy is very important, and in order to build empathy, you have to talk to people, and a great way to do that is to interview. So when I go on my informational interviews, I'm gonna keep this in mind as I try and learn more about my career paths and try and find out which ones I want to pursue. After listening to BJ Levin speak, it made me think a lot about how I need to take control of my own career path, and everything I need to do has to be done by me, and I can't sit around and wait for someone to do something for me. I need to go out, get my own experience, and do things for myself. So the next day after I listened to BJ Levin speak, I reached out to a man in my town for possible internships, and I ended up getting it. So due to BJ Levin kind of inspiring me, I was able to get an internship for the winter. Today in design thinking, we talked a lot about brainstorming and the importance of just getting ideas down and just saying many different things and not worrying about if it's feasible yet, which is something I now use in my Greek mythology class because every week I have to write an essay. And now I just think about all different random ideas I can do and different viewpoints I can take on my essay and just go from there, which has really helped me come up with a bunch of different ideas and supporting details for my essays. In design thinking today, we talked a lot about storytelling and how the people that you're telling a story to don't really know what you're talking about. So you have to be really clear and really concise in order for them to understand what you're saying, which is something I'm trying to incorporate in everyday life whenever I'm talking to somebody. Because I sometimes forget that like they don't really know what I'm talking about, and I can go off on tangents and they'll just be completely lost. So it's kind of helped me just think about my thoughts before I say them and try and make them much more concise for someone to understand. After talking about the startup view, we learned a lot about career planning and how you need to choose something that you like, but also something that is going to work in the economy and something that you're going to be able to do and be able to get an income that will help support your standard of living. So it really helped me focus on things that I can excel at, but also things that I'm going to enjoy. So which is why I'm looking at finance because I know that I enjoy how intense it is, but it's also something that I can be good at. In the Milton Hershey essay, I applied the innovator's DNA framework to him, and I thought it was very interesting that a modern concept could be applied to someone who lived so long ago. It kind of showed me that this framework does encompass the majority of innovators, and it showed me that this would be something I'm trying to enhance within myself. After reading the Steve Jobs autobiography, I learned a lot about Apple and how it was created. I learned that great innovations do not usually happen overnight. They need to be worked at constantly, and they can be done by anyone as long as the person is actively trying to enhance their discovery skills. While doing the design challenge, I was able to conduct an interview and learn how to ask thought-provoking questions. As a result, my group and I were able to learn a lot about stress, which led us to have a very focused and effective brainstorming session. We were able to come up with an app that helped you manage your stress and connect you with other people in order to help you cope with your stress by participating in various activities such as exercising or just hanging out. As a result of this challenge, my group and I have become very enthusiastic about the app and are currently working on creating it. This process has showed us that it is possible for anyone to be innovative as long as they put a little work in.